Oh, hi there. Don't mind me, I'm just doing a little research for my review. Yeah, I have to beat this race, so you best come back another time. I don't think I'm going to do the review right now. You're not going to leave, are you? Alright, alright. Need for Speed is based on a long-running game series of the same name developed by Electronic Arts, and the term based is used pretty loosely here since the games don't exactly have much of a story. One of the game's trademarks is the police pursuits. It varied from game to game, but the basic idea is to evade cops while quenching your need for speed. I'm only mentioning that because it's sorta in the movie and basically the only thing that makes it based on the games. The story involves a driver named Tovey Marshall. He is framed for an accident that killed his good friend and sent to prison. When he gets out, he vows revenge on the man who framed him, Dino. And how will he do that, you ask? He challenges Dino to a cook-off. No, it's a race, of course, and that's really all there is to it. Cars go fast, they smash into each other. And really, do you give a shit about the story? If you're watching a movie called Need for Speed, you came to see the cars. Unfortunately, this movie spends too much time on a story that isn't compelling at all. And I'm not saying that all action movies should neglect their stories. Quite the contrary, in fact. Action scenes become way more intense when you care about the characters. But on some level, it has to be an engaging story. If you don't have one, then trim the running time and focus on the action. Need for Speed is 2 hours and 10 minutes long, and a lot of it is just dull because the story is so bland. It tries to develop the characters, but doesn't give them much more than cliches. But if you came for cars, you will get cars. The racing scenes are actually quite good. They're well staged and no shaky cam, so you can always see what's going on. And from what I've read, it was all done with practical effects and no CG. That, if nothing else, is pretty impressive. At one point, a brief clip from Steve McQueen's Bullet is shown. Clearly, that was a source of inspiration for the filmmakers. Need for Speed was directed by Scott Waugh, a former stuntman. He previously co-directed the Navy SEAL movie Act of Valor, which I did not see, but I know if anything was praised in that, it was the action. So it looks like he's a solid action director at the very least, and considering a lot of directors have trouble with action, I'll take it. The acting isn't bad either. Breaking Bad star Aaron Paul plays the lead role. He does pretty well. If you've seen Breaking Bad, you know he's capable of much more than this, but after doing such a heavy series for 5 years, I think he's earned a little fun. Dominic Cooper is the villain. Cooper's a good actor, and he seems to be having fun playing the role, but the character just isn't a compelling villain. He's an asshole, but at no point does he feel intimidating or threatening. Surprisingly, the best character is the obligatory love interest. She's played by British actress Imogen Poots, who gives an awesome performance. In addition to being very pretty, she's charming, sweet, and funny. And although she has the weird trope of being a female character who is sometimes badass and sometimes helpless, she's more interesting than anyone else. Her and Paul work well together and turn the love story, which is usually the most cliche rating and boring part of an action movie, into an asset. I guess I would recommend Need for Speed to car junkies, but be warned that you'll have to endure a lot of exposition and watching people cry. But stick with it, and you'll see some good stuff. If you're not an action fan, I don't think this has anything to offer you. Thanks again for watching. I'm really looking forward to this weekend because we got Noah and Sabotage coming out, two movies I'm really excited to see. So count on the next review being one of those.